Previously on MA Plays Ashdod.
We cast dark knowledge. We found 2 sites. This is possibly a world first. We got a Graveyard of the Damned for 2 death gems and a Burial Mound for 1. That's really nice. All the giants in this province can move straight to Whispering Wastes in 1 turn. So again, that puts us right on Machaka's territory. So we can have another army up here.
This time on MA Plays Ashdod.
Hello, welcome back. We are attacking Machaka this turn. What takes heat? Who is at the center? Claim the Throne of Fire. Let's check that out. I'm going to assume this is a Fire 3 themed throne. Yeah, it is. Okay. Gives 1 Fire Gem and 2 when you've claimed it. Dominion 2. Blessed troops get attack scale. That's nice. Boosts Fire Ritual range by 1 and enables the recruitment of the Adept of Pyroflegiton, who is Fire 3. Cool. Cast some summons. Did not find any magic sites. Oh yeah, we declared a new prophet as well. There was a famine in Ashdod, good stuff. There was famine in Thodaz, good stuff. We averted disasters. Unexpected event in Whispering Wastes. A group of knights has unexpectedly attacked the province in an attempt to take control. Yeah. We were attacked by 16 knights plus 2 knight commanders. And we lost this fantastic province. So this province was crucial for us. Not only was it giving us 3 death gems, but it also allowed us to move straight into Machakan territory in 2 turns. We can no longer do that. We can't attack into this province at all this time. So that's going to delay things significantly, and it's also kind of annoying, just in general. And we lost a scout in Evergreen Forest. And that's it for messages. A lot of red arrows down here, boys. So, alright, here's the plan, okay? I think I've been over this already, but I'm going to do it again. I just went back over the previous videos that I've recorded, which is, you know, a privilege that... Well, I guess you could just save turns, but whatever. It's a privilege that you get if you're doing videos, right? I can go back and I can look through all the times I've seen this Machakan army in Scalarian territory. In recent times, this guy's prophet has not been with his army at all. I'm convinced the prophet is not here, and that's good, because if this army can't be divine blessed, I think it sucks. If it can be divine blessed, I think it absolutely wrecks me. That's just the theory. So, with that in mind, I'm going to work under the assumption that the guy's prophet is not here. I can't see it anywhere in a scouting report. I know that his pretender is in his cap because it says it. I also know that his prophet is I forgot what they call it. It's like a black hunter or a dark hunter or a hunter of some description. It says that the army consists mainly of black hunters. I don't know, but I haven't seen it, okay? So with that in mind, the plan is to take these 2 provinces here, okay? Bay of Plenty and Taran. Technically we only need to take Taran, but whatever. If I have both of these provinces, first of all, it means if we then fight his army and beat it, even if we don't beat it, you know, convincingly, we just win enough that they rout, then he has nowhere to retreat to, and the whole army dies, which is great. The other thing it means is that if I've got both of these provinces, it's very, very hard for him to get new, to get mages or his prophet over here, I think. So that's the goal. Okay, so also with that in mind, we need to bring absolutely overwhelming force to this fight, because I need to make sure that I beat this sieging army here. So that's the arrows that are moving to Taran, okay? There's a lot of stuff here. Now the reality is this army isn't actually that good. It's only really good because we can ethereal a lot of our troops, because we have tons of skeletons making up the front lines. These 2 blocks of skeletons are the really good ones. They're the ones that have 2 pieces of armor and in some cases also a shield. So when these guys get Legions of Steel, they're going to go from 12 and 16 armor to 15 and 19 armor. So these guys have been, with 20 hit points, is really, really tough. They're also pierce resistant. I'm going to assume spiders do piercing damage. I could have checked that as well, but whatever. Other than that, you can see I've got a lot of casters. So let's go through all of this, okay? So in terms of positioning, out in front, we've got blocks of Sacred Giants, and there's only 24 of them here. But they're in between blocks of skeletons. And then in amongst those guys are pretty much 3 types of caster. I'll go through in a second. Behind them is all the ranged units. I don't think the ranged units are really going to do much, but they might. I haven't given them a target, so there's always a chance that they target like the commanders, which would be really useful. Don't know why these guys are so separate. Oh god, that doesn't bode well. I thought I'd scripted all this. Let's see, where are they? That's these guys. Yeah, they're fine. They're on hold and fire. Yeah, they can stand there. And then right at the back, we've got the flying units. They're going to get buffed in and then attack rear. Okay. Mages themselves. If you are a fire mage, you do pretty much just 2 things. You buff up, you summon a fire elemental, and then you spam incinerate. This only affects 1 person, but it's a ton of fire damage. So it is magic, so I guess it can be resisted. But his units are all vulnerable to fire, so best case scenario is these fire mages just pick off 1 spider every turn with this spell. If you have Astral, you sit in amongst the troops at the front and you give them Body Ethereal, maybe some luck. This is only going to be useful if he doesn't have a Divine Bless, because if he has a Divine Bless, all those units have magic weapons and then they just go through Ethereal, which will suck. But in theory, all our frontline shoots will be Ethereal and it will do something. Fire Guy, same thing, Elemental Incinerate. If you're a Nature Mage, you do Swarm first, and then you spam Ethereal. These guys are also in amongst the front lines. So we'll have lots of Swarms flying around as well. Fire Guy. Earth Guys do Legions of Steel, and then they do Amours of the Earth as well. This spell was really, really good in Dominions 4. So I'm hoping it's still really, really good in Dominions 5. It has a long cast time, but it's very long range. It has a scaling AoE of 7, which does 15 armor piercing damage and earth grips. So 15 AoE and a 7 area effect is pretty gigantic. And not only does it do huge amounts of damage, but it also roots everything. So I remember it being a really, really good spell against like large amounts of infantry. I'm not sure how good it's going to be against huge amounts of like mounted units that have a second shape, but it's the same sort of theory. It does a lot of AoE damage. If you have Death, you're basically just here to lead skeletons and things, or in this case demons, and you just spam Frighten. This isn't a very good fear, but it's something. We just need this army to rout, so it doesn't really... Yeah, there's more Frightens. Another Swarmer. A bulk order of Magnifying Glasses is my Prophet, so he gets to do a single Divine Blessing and no one else has to bless. He's also an Earth Mage, so he does Legions of Steel and Moors of the Earth. You can see also that all of my Earth Mages now have Earth Boots. I forged a shitload of Earth Boots last turn. This guy is an exception. He's in amongst the flying units. He does Iron Warriors, which gives invulnerability. So there's that block of Mazakim at the back. They're all going to get Ethereal and invulnerability, just so that they stay alive. The goal for them really is just to harass the commanders at the back, and hope if I'm lucky and it kills the commander, the whole army routes, because he's only got like 4 commanders there or something. Fire Guy, Earth Guy, same deal. This is red, but it's only because he needs to cast this to be able to cast it. Swarm Guy, Frighten Guy, Fire Guy, Frighten Guy, Earth Guy, Swarm, Fire. These are all nothing different. I think this is everything we've seen now. And if you got two Astral, you just do more kind of Astral buffs. Oh, this guy's different. So this guy has Death 4 if I give him a Skull Staff, so his job is to just stand right in the middle there and just spam Drain Life. Again, this only affects 1 person, but it's a big amount of armor negating damage. And he can cast this all day long because it should drain, give him back endurance when he casts it. That's the army. We also have all of our H1 priests in here who don't actually need to do anything because I've got a Prophet. But as is customary, I have named each of them the Good Post Boys, and they can do what they want. Probably cast a lot of Summons of Courage. So that's the Big Boy army. Big Boy army goes to town, blocks off this army, and then smashes into that army. If his prophet isn't here, I think we win. Maybe we don't win convincingly, but as long as we make it a rout, that's fine. There's going to be a lot of fire elementals and swarms flying around, plus guys spamming Incinerate, and some Maws of the Earth going off, and then all of my ethereal regenerating giants will walk forwards and chop everything up. I think it'll be okay, but we'll see. This might be a huge mistake, but hey, at least that's content, right? Yeah! Some more red arrows are going to buy plenty to cut this off. This is just a raiding group, it's very small. 4 giants, they get blessed. They also get body etherealed and lucked. And one guy summons a fire elemental and summons frighten, and that's it. This little army will walk around, be a nuisance, try and block off routes so that Machaka can't reinforce. Now, in theory, we'll also be moving an army into Whispering Wastes this turn to threaten these territories. We cannot do that. That's really, really bad. The upside is it means I don't have to script anything up here because I can't get them into combat yet. So I am forced to build a lab in this province this turn so that I can hand out items that I forge this turn. I realised that down here I actually need a ton of bags of wine. There's like, I think there's like 10 bags of wine down here just to keep this army alive. Giants are very hungry boys. So we're building a lab here so that the bags of wine we're forging this turn and some fire in jars can be given to the army. It's moving here, this isn't scripted yet. And so far it's just some giants. This is a smaller force, and I can do 2 things with it. Either I can threaten small forts with it, or I can split it up into 4 separate squads. So 4 squads of 5 or 6 giants each, to just raid everything. We'll see what's more useful near the time. For now it's just moving into Spy Woods. Turn after that it attacks Whispering Wastes. Turn after that we head into Machaka. My god here is moving to Parched Expanse. That's just because this is closer to this region here. In fact, it is exactly 4 tiles away from Machaka. So we could cast that spell that I can't remember the name of that damages forts from there. Crumble. This does 250 points of damage, plus 25 for each additional Earth skill level, and does blunt damage to defenders. Good spell for smashing open a fort in 1 turn. Depending on what's here, we'll see. I'm also attacking this army with my scout this turn just so that we can see what's there. If it turns out that his prophet is here, I guess we reassess the situation. I think that's it for this turn. Let's go site searching, and I'm moving my air mage here to site search as well. Tenchi's got this army here. He might just be taking this province, but be a bit frustrating if he attacks me just as I attack Machaka, but oh well. Alright, gonna end turn now. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in a moment. Hello, welcome back. We got construction to 5. Doesn't really do much for us. We can use all of these spells, but I'm not sure that we will. We'll keep going through construction until we get to 6. Cast Reanimation, found a magic site. It is an enchanted tower, which is 1 earth gem per turn. It does not give you a fort or anything, even though it sounds like it might. And then we had 3 battles. So I think Bay of Plenty is a small fight, right? Yeah, this is the farmland. With a little raiding force. Versus not a lot. Just checking how my buffs go off. Fire elemental's behind everything, as usual. I need to stop doing that. 2 seconds got ethereal, okay. It's just province defense. We walk forwards. Nice job. Good work, everyone. There's Bay of Plenty. Lost a skeleton, somehow. And then we also fought into Scaleria with a scout. So we can just check out this army again. 3 priests who blessed. Oh, some of those fighters are stupid and they are attacking the wrong dudes. That's cool. Ah, that's how it died. I was wondering because there was a death here and I was like, how did that happen? So there is no profit here. And then we also had a battle in town. Now, good news about this battle is we actually found his prophet. So his old prophet must have died because this is not Battlecruiser 3000 AD, this is Dumain. So there are quite a few spiders here and they do all get blessed. We get to see my army in action. Swarms go off. Fire elementals, as you can see, end up behind everything. I have definitely fixed this time though, so hopefully that'll stop happening. I don't know why I assume, like, I know that my fire mages were in amongst all the troops, but I always just assume that they'll find a way to just path through. Because everything's on hold for 2 turns, so I always think, well, there's probably going to be like one, you know, row gap between all the armies, so the fire elementals just walk neatly through there, but it never happens. We absolutely shred those spiders, which is good. You can see the immolates, I think they are. Blow those spiders to bits. Moors of the Earth did get cast in this fight, but I don't think it hit a large group, so you can't really see it very well. I was checking the combat log, which is why it was up like this when it started. And one of the Moors of the Earth hit like 2 militia. And in fairness, it absolutely destroyed those militia, but not really what it's for. So we lost 1 archer and 1 crossbow somehow. Go figure. We also lost 6 skeletons and 3 Mazics. That's fine. The Mazics did quite well in that fight. They were all like ethereal and all invulnerable. I got 8 kills between them. Pretty nice for these shitters. And we killed 11 sacreds. Who are... that's actually nothing to be sneezed at. They're quite expensive troops. And of course we also killed the Hunter Lord who was his prophet. So his prophet's done, so he can't bless that huge army now at all. Also Spider Battle in Stirs, this is just throwing another big army at province defense. I don't know what's going on in this war. Are these guys still starving? No. Whatever, that's Stirs. Who knows? Events in Feral Woods. Ugh, we lost 191 gold, gained 15 unrest. Dunvale lost 2 dominion. Bandar Log gained 37 unrest. There's an upcoming arena battle. It would have been nice to have like recruited an Aedon, forged some gear, and sent a guy in. It would have been fun. But I was just too distracted getting ready to invade Machaca. So we're going to skip this. I'm not going to take part. I lost a scout as well. So, nice start. We have taken these 2 provinces. I've put the province events up. We know for certain now that Machaca's prophet is not alive. So let's roll in. Army looks more or less the same. I have placed the fire elemental summoners way out in front. I hope that they will be okay. I think they will. So this time around the fire elemental should actually be in front. And I've also slightly rearranged the positioning of all the other mages as well, just to spread them out a little bit more easily, or more evenly. So hopefully slightly more things get etherealed, slightly more things get Legions of Steel. I've also moved the archers back quite a bit. Not too much because I want them to be able to fire, but one of the things that happened in that last battle was that Legions of Steel got cast on like a group of archers twice, so 2 casts of it got wasted. So I'm pushing them further back so that hopefully they don't get targeted as many times. Everything else is still broadly similar. I'm not going to go over this giant scripting mess again, but you can pause the video and look through if you are really keen to see the changes. They're very slight though. And all the gems I've been carrying have been moved to the scouts now, where they're a bit safer. Yeah, so that's going to get thrown into Scleria this turn. Hopefully that goes well, fingers crossed. I think it should be fine though. Raiders here. I should probably rename all these guys because they are quite funny. But they're going to proceed on to the swamps here. Try and pick off some of these edge provinces. And that brings us to the new army up here. This is all the stuff I've got in this region. As I said, they're just going to take Whispering Wastes back this turn. And after that we can decide what we actually want to do with them. At the moment it's just stand at the front, they get blessed, they get ethereal, they walk forwards. Pretty standard stuff. The other big red line is just some skeletons that I've summoned. So we'll have skeletons here and sacreds here. And from there we can distribute them wherever they need to go. Other things happening this turn are, first of all, I've got an Astral Mage here. He's going to cast Baleful Star onto Machaka's cap. Baleful Star is, I don't think this is a very good spell. I think it's kind of useless. You can read it. I think it increases misfortune and curses units potentially. It costs 7 Astral Pearls. Probably not very good. Let's do it anyway. Alongside that, I'm also casting Blight. Blight, you can see exactly what that does. Minus 5% population, 15 unrest, minus 80 gold. That sounds slightly more annoying. So we're also casting that on Machaka's cap. I don't think either of those spells are particularly good, but it's the psychological warfare aspect, okay, of having these dumb spells cast on your cap, potentially every turn, because we've got a lot of astral income, 14 per month. We could do 2 Baleful Stars a turn on Machaka's cap if we want to. And what's Blight? Was this 10 or 5? That's only 5 Earth Gems. And we make 10 per month. So we could do that every turn just to really annoy Machaka. And if we get the unrest up high enough, he won't be able to recruit any more sacreds. So why not? It's just a little bit of extra harassment. My god is also casting Call of the Wild at Queen Forest. Call of the Wild is just the spell that summons some wolves and werewolves. It's also not that good. But I'm just hoping that this province stays undefended. The wolves will probably take it from province defense as long as there's not too much province defense. And the importance of that is I just want to take as many provinces as possible in this area to make it more difficult for him to move troops downwards. That's all it really is. So hopefully next time we take these 2 provinces. And then at the turn after that we can take some of these as well. And so he has to take them back before he can even think about reinforcing this army. That's the plan. Still doing a bit of site searching, not doing much recruitment at the moment. Research is very low because a lot of my mages are walking around now. But of course these mages are just here to make sure that we can squash these bugs. After that, half of them can probably just go back to researching while I continue raiding. Obviously we can't see all of Machaka's territory, but it is possible that he is just this, you know, because you can see Alm right here. If that's the case, if we smash this army and then just roll over this fort, which should be quite easy, all he's got left is his cap then. You can just sit on that and raid the other provinces until he just dies. But we'll see how it goes. There's always the possibility that this battle goes absolutely horribly though, and I get destroyed. But hopefully that doesn't happen. don't think anything else is happening this turn. This is such overkill. I mean, imagine how much research I'd do if I was just researching with all these guys. Battle Star. Magic Earth Boots, Blight, Core of the World. Yeah, that's all. So hopefully that goes okay. Gonna end turn that. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on turn 39. Hello, welcome back. Hope you like big ass turns. First things first, Tianqi, claim the Throne of Death. This is a death-themed throne. Check that out in a second. We cast Blight, we cast Baleful Star, we cast Call of the World. It was a battle in Queen Forest. This was Call of the World. So, gives you some wolves. Not very good, but also a werewolf, who's a bit better. And there was just some province defense here. So that goes fine. Gives us a forest in MAPGENERATOR territory. Search for sites, didn't find any. Lost some units on a march. Spider battle between Alm and Stiz. Big line of troops versus some province defense. Good stuff. Check that out in a second. Then there was a battle in Towern. So Towern is the province where my army was stationed. I was expecting that we'd have a battle in Scleria, but apparently he moved into me at the same time that I moved into him, and he won the coin flip. So this is kind of unfortunate, actually. But let's see how it went. So, there's the spiders. We know that he doesn't have a prophet. And there's me. We now have our sages right in the front. Looks kind of scary at this point, but don't worry. We only lose 2. Next unfortunate thing is he has this little squad on attack rear that manages to get around my front line. Which is a bit of a nuisance. A few down here as well. You can see that he has quite a lot of trouble getting through my line of giants though. So things are looking bad in the back line, and we have lost a few troops and a few mages have routed, but front line's still holding. I do like watching this guy cast Drain Life. It's like a little laser beam just appears and kills things. He also casts Soul Vortex at this point, which is a bit not ideal. There's Drain Life. Zap. So we won. But of course, if we had managed to attack into him and fought on Scaleria, this would have killed every single one of his units. That's Taran. I think he must have left a unit maintaining the siege though, because most of these guys are still alive now in Scaleria. So it looks fairly bad for us. You know, we lost some archers and stuff, and we did lose 7 mages. But he lost 72 black hunters, and these things cost 115 gold each. So 72 times 115, gonna guess that's like 8,200 and something, maybe. That's a lot of gold down the drain. And more importantly, we lost 0 giant sacreds. All we lost are the mages, which are a bit unfortunate, and a couple of skeletons and some archers. So that could have gone better. There's definitely a sweet spot for where to put my sages who have fires in jars in order to get the elementals out in front of the troops, but not such that they'll be hugely vulnerable. I do not think this was the sweet spot. It's still pretty good. I'll take a look at the map now before I continue. Yeah, you can see the army's still here. About 40 units, it's not too bad. And the fact that he attacked into me caused other problems though. I'll also look at the throne now while I'm here before I forget. Throne of Death. 5 death gems. Wow, I wish I had that. Dominion gets death. Also battling Whispering Waste. This was me taking back a province from knights. Went about as you'd expect. Is it worth watching maybe? These guys were scripted and they do have gems. They were doing spells and stuff. It's just blessings, ethereals, a few legions of steel. That's good stuff. Then there was a battle in Silent Wetlands. This is my little raiding force. Don't think we bumped into anything interesting. There's some more province defense. Same tactics as usual. Less buff, walk forwards. Not much else to see there. Lost 2 skeletons. In Muspel, a tribe of agitated troglodytes have attacked the settlements. And we got 3 misfortune in Haunted Woods. Units have aged because the Throne of Death was claimed. It was an arena battle. This wasn't very interesting, but Ulm won it. So there we go. Battle in Darkwoods as well. Some neutrals attacked Ulm. He repelled them. And this is the troglodytes attacking us and taking our province from us. Fortunately, this one isn't like right in the middle of my path into Machaka this time. That's it for messages. Okay, lots of red lines. So, problem number 1 with what happened down here is that, as you can see, I had scouts carrying gems. I don't know why I had 2 guys doing this. I think there must have been one with each little army that was on the way here. But because the scout was on sneak, the scout moved into Scaleria, even though the army didn't, because the army got caught by the opposing army. Which means you don't have any gems in this province now to replenish these scripts. So we're going to have to move on without gems. So there's some slight scripting changes because of that. Other problem is that some of my troops, you know, they're routed to different provinces, and we have to pick them back up now because we need to go and smash into that army again. So I've changed the scripting slightly because of that. 4 blocks around that are Sacred Giants, blocking the middle at Skeletons. The sages are now here, in the gaps between, slightly recessed. They'll do the fire elementals. Script is broadly similar. We can't do Legions of Steel now, and we can't do Swarm, so the M1 guys are just doing ethereals. The big Earth guys are mostly doing just spamming petrifies and things. This guy's doing Iron Warriors and Earth Melds. This guy's still doing the Drain Life stuff. I think it's fine though, because his army is much depleted now, and we slew out all of our Sacreds, who will all be blessed, so I think that's okay. Bringing down some more Sacreds to the front lines. As you can see, lots of scouts are now moving through Machakan territory. Over here we now have 5 provinces adjacent to Machakan territory that we can move units through. So I'm doing 2 things. One is I'm building up a force in this province that's adjacent to his cap. This is the first forest. It's 4 blocks of Sacreds, a big block of Skeletons, 2 Fire Elemental guys in the front, and some Body Ethereal buffs. Here's the full scripting, but it's nothing you haven't seen before. They're going to meet up in the first forest. And then I'm probably going to use those to siege Fungwood. But if Fungwood seems okay, I can use them to siege Macheka. Because I also have a bunch of stuff from these 4 provinces moving on to Fungwood as well, which is a smaller army. But it only really needs to kill province defense. So this is just 9 giants, some skeletons, some wolves and archers and things at the top. Only thing different between this army and others is that we have an S3 guy here who's going to cast Battle Fortune. Battle Fortune gives every unit in an AoE 5 luck. I think luck is probably pretty good for units that have regen like my giants. Since luck just prevents you from dying sometimes when you take a killing blow. Other difference here is that I have an Earth guy here, but instead of casting Legions of Steel, he's casting Lightning Resistance. My Sacreds all have Lightning Resistance anyway from the Bless, but more doesn't hurt. The reason I'm doing that is because this fort, as you can see, is full of Windmasters, and I'm going to assume that Windmasters do lightning damage. So let's prep for that. So we'll do some Lightning Resistance. It's also important because I'm also casting some Iron Warriors, which gives you susceptibility to shock, but I think that would be countered by the Bless plus the Lightning Resistance, because this is, I think this is like much more than 5. So yeah, so we're attacking back into Scleria, we're attacking Fungwood, and we're attacking First Forest, and we're moving more troops to the front line. We are casting Blight and Baleful Star, is it? Yeah. We're casting Blight and Baleful Star on Macheka again, because why not? You can see the scout I had here got cursed by it, so I guess all these units are cursed now. We'll spam that on him for a couple of turns just to demoralize him. Next time I recruit a group of Sacreds, I'll take like this province as well on the way. I've actually stopped recruiting Sacred Giants for a bit. Reason for that is just because, well, we seem to be beating him so far. So, probably got enough Giants for now. I'm going to hold off for a few turns. I'm going to make sure that I'm recruiting mages now in every single province that I can recruit mages in. That's a luxury partially because this guy is already paid for, but need to really start catching up on research. All these guys need to start researching as soon as we win. And I'm also using the bonus gold that we have to build temples. So I've got a temple going up in Morn and a temple going up in Quattle Swamp. And then after that I'd like to get a temple up in Bandar Log as well. Really start pushing out our Dominion. We've got really good scales. Growth 1, Prod 3 and now Order 2. I really want to push this out, get some gold going. The provinces that we're taking are quite good as well. Like this farmland's 168 income, which is fantastic. So I'll get temples up there, get a temple up in Bandar Log next, and then hopefully we start knocking over some forts here and we can start putting temples down here as well. It's also a good reason to push Dominion because of course Tianchi has Eyes of God now, and he has tons of temples everywhere pushing out his Dominion. I don't want him to be able to see stuff. I think that's everything. Not doing much else, I don't think. We're up to 22 nature gems per turn now because there's a Mother Oak over here. So I will end the turn, and I will see you in the next video.